Okay. What I'll do here, Adam, is while I'm talking, I'm just going to share my screen with you, and I'll jot this all down in a doc, and I can just share this doc with you after the call, so that you can have something like bulletproof to take away. Okay.
Cool.
So let me just come back here. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Instantly.ai for email sequencing. We've got Namecheap. And then with this, I would go for, considering your sort of 50 to 150, I would go here with 75% Google, 25% Outlook. So we've got instantly Namecheap scaled mail, and then obviously you need a something to scrape the data. So what you do is use Vane.io, which is a sales navigator scraper. So then, of course, you'd also need sales navigator. Do you have this already?
Sales Navigator, I think I have it. Some LinkedIn one.
Yeah, I think you do have it. I think I saw the premium thing by your profile.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Vane scrapes Sales Navigator. So that Sales Navigator would be your database. This is the best one. This is literally where Apollo and Prospio and all these other companies literally they just scrape Sales Navigator and resell that data. So this is the absolute best place to get your data. And then in terms of finding and enriching emails, you would want to be using LeadMagic. And this is a enrichment platform. So with this, you can enrich contact details, so mobile phones, email addresses. You can also find out technographic information. You can look for decision makers. There's multiple different endpoints that you can use all within one platform. So that's your enrichment platform. And then you also need like a bit of a back end to really automate this. So this is where N8N would come in handy. How familiar are you with kind of like building these kind of systems? Just so I'm clear.
Yeah. Very familiar.
All right, perfect then. Perfect. So N8N is not going to be a problem for you at all, really.
Yeah.
And I think actually what I would add in here as well as an optional extra, if you maybe feel comfortable, is Claude Code.
Claude Code, yeah. We've been starting to mess with it a lot.
So you're an IT guy, so I would probably even lean towards Claude Code to be honest with you. And you can use N8N as the back end of some other things as well. And then of course for like personalization. So this is personalization. So any email, any kind of icebreakers or cleaning up company names or like classifying industries or locations, all of this, use Claude. It's the absolute best for like email copywriting. So this is like a very simple stack to really get you started. So we've got the sequencing, the domains, the mailboxes, the database, the scraper, the enrichment, and the automation, and the AI. So this is what I would recommend to get started to anyone. So do you have any of this at the moment, or is this like all new to you? All of these
No,
bits?
I have some good visibility. The one question I do have is just like start from the top to the bottom, really. So like Instantly AI, right? I'm basically gonna set that up, and I'm gonna be using that for email sequencing. Like, what you mean by that is like, are you looking for like the touch, the first touch you're gonna be driving through there, or like maybe drive down like the whole list of how you're gonna be using them? To explain a little bit.
Yeah. So let me go into a bit more detail then about each of these. So this is email sequencing, and what I mean by that is we would be sending the entire sequence. So that's the initial email, and then follow-up emails. So if I just jump in here quickly and show you mine, for example. So in here, you'll have your campaigns, of course. So I've got in here like recruiters following different providers, which is something that I would definitely recommend that you do. So let me just add that while that's top of mind. So in here, we're going to have Vein, Sales Navigator, Scraper, and then also scrape companies following competitors slash big IT players, because these decision makers are already familiar. So maybe even decision makers that are following Cloudflare, for example, or something like this would be cool for you. So I've got recruiters following Clay, so they're already familiar with outbound, maybe Venti, Loxo, or N8N. So in terms of Instantly specifically, you've got your sequences in here. So you have your email one, which is step one. So this is the initial email that we're sending. So hi, first name, congrats. If I got you 3 jobs on next month with dream client, without you doing anything on the client side, worth a chat, kind regards, Harry. So when that's filled in, the congrats is filled in, and then the dream client, which is AI-powered deep tech startups, is filled in too. And then we also follow up 2 days later. So this is with some more information about how we actually do what we do. And then you also want to make sure you're split testing with other subject lines, other kind of ways of wording it as well. And then we'd follow up again 3 days later in this case. So this is just a straightforward follow-up, kind of nudging them, trying to push for a call. And then, yeah, so does that answer your question of like the use case of Instantly? Is the whole higher out?
Yes. Yeah. So step one is this is email sequencing. Now you're just making it like some sort of email automation of like kind of how to always touch them. You're pre-canning some information and you're pulling their personal information from your database. Okay. So then now if we go back to your blank document, if you don't mind. So like Instant AI is like that's we're going to be building like all the emails, like automation per se. So now how does it get triggered to send that out? If that makes sense.
So when you come to your campaigns here, so this one here is paused right now, but these other ones here that are active. So all you would literally do to trigger this is click on resume here. So now this is active. This will be start to send out again. So we've got here the breakdown of the campaigns. We've got the analytics. So this is the reply rates, the positives. You can see the steps as well. So in the sequences, which is the copywriting, we've got step 1, A/B, step 2, A/B, step 3, ABC, which correlates back here. And we can see the reply rates of each step. So this is going to be really important when you're analyzing the data to use in your LinkedIn ad campaigns or your Meta ad campaigns. So I'm just going to write that down as well. So step analytics for ads, for ad campaigns.
So basically like good performing, like higher open rate emails, use that ad for your LinkedIn. It's proven that people are attracted to it. That's what you're trying to learn there.
Yeah, exactly. So a 1% positive reply rate, as soon as you can get to that point, that's when you start scaling. Okay. So a 1% positive reply rate. So this campaign here right now, so this is a 5.7% reply rate. 40% here is positive. So this is like, what's that? This is a 2.2% positive reply rate. So this is a winning campaign by any measure. So as soon as you can get to a 1% positive reply rate, that's when you know you found a winner, and that's when you can scale and then start using that in ads as well. So you can figure that out and get more granular with it as well by looking here at the reply rates of the each step.
Awesome.
But yeah.
And then now, so sorry to cut you off. Now, when you run this campaign, where are you pulling your data from right now?
So
you upload it into here already, or?
Yeah, so the data here is already uploaded. So what I'll do is take you through the exact process, like A to B. So what I would do when I want to launch a new campaign here, so recruiters following N8N, for example, what I would do is I would come into LinkedIn. And then when that's loaded here, I would jump into Sales Navigator, right? So this is where you create a search. So you're familiar with Sales Nav, right? It's just like a database, yeah. So obviously you put in your ICP here and like specific filters and whatever you want to do here. And then once you've done that, this is where you'd come into Vein.io, which is the platform I've said here for scraping. And what you can do in here is you can create orders, and then you paste in the URL that you've made here, and then you check the URL, and that creates an order. Once you've done that, that's when you start scraping. So here we've got files that I've sent across. So today, yesterday I did this one here of 16,000 leads. So I was mapping out one of my clients' TAMs, so their total addressable market. And then you would download the file. And then once you've done that, you literally just pump that into a Google Sheet. So literally go into a Google Sheet and then upload that file. And then once you've done that, that's when you'd have all of the data in a structured Google Sheet for you. And then obviously, because you're using Vein here, the file is going to look exactly the same every single time. So the same headers, the same columns.
Yep.
And then once you have that, that's when you come into N8N. So this is mine here, for example. And I can send you across the blueprints as well after this call. No problem at all.
Appreciate that.
So in my case here, we have the Vein flow so this is how it would look for you, something somewhat similar. So you'd have obviously the Google Sheet here, which gets all of that data, and then you just literally loop over it and then run enrichment and personalization and add it into Instantly. So in this case here, it looks a bit more complex. And the reason being is I'm using Waterfall Enrichment. So I use Prospeo to find the email. And if that cannot find the email, then I use ICPs. And if that can't, then I use LeadMagic. So I have like 3 steps, but in your case, you probably have one. You just have LeadMagic. And then you obviously run the Claude personalization, and then you add it directly to Instantly. Okay, so that's like the steps here from like getting a Sales Navigator URL directly into a campaign. And obviously,
that's awesome.
When you have leads here in the campaign like this. Yeah.
That bridges the gap exactly, because like that's exactly what you're doing. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, exactly. And you can even, if you want to, you can take this a step further and use the Vein API to essentially automatically trigger this scrape and then automatically gather that data when the scrape's finished, and then run that automatically. And I do that as well, so I can send you over the blueprints for all of that stuff there as well. So let me just jot that down. Blueprints. Cool. So yeah, is that clear in terms of like Instantly, and we can work our way down?
100%, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this campaign here is actually, I'm just going to pause that because I don't want that to start sending. And in here as well, of course, you have the schedule, so you can say what time frames you want that to send from.
Business hours, because no one looks at an email late at night. Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, that's 9 to 6, Monday to Friday, London time. And then here's just some other options here as well in terms of the best practices. So what you want to do here is make sure that you have ESP matching. So this means that Google sends to Google and then Microsoft sends to Microsoft. And then the time gap between the emails needs to be a minimum of 12 minutes. And then you have 3 to 5 additional random minutes there as well. And then obviously you want to make sure that you're sending here as no HTML, and then your first email is text only. These are just standard practices. I can write these down here for you as well if you want.
Be able to send me this recording when you're done with this, if you don't mind too.
Yeah, 100%. I'll send you the recording as well. Just while we're here, actually, and talking about Instantly and some like technicalities of it, it's worth mentioning where this takes us nicely into the domains actually. So with the domains, what you want to do is make sure that you're buying from either Namecheap or Pork Barn. It doesn't really matter at all where you get them from. But the bit that does matter is you want to have 2 mailboxes per 1 domain. Okay. Now, what's great here about scaled mail is they give you this. So this is these guys are the absolute best on the market for deliverability. And when you sign up, they give you a guide. So I'm just going to jump in here. This is my client's scaled mail. So within here, you get the guide. And I'm just going to copy and paste their settings that they recommend and send that across to you here.
Awesome.
So we've got the limits for Microsoft, Google, and SMTP. And then there's some more bits here as well. So I'm just going to copy that in for you. So, okay, cool. So that's in there for you. And this is just the kind of the limits and the warm up that you need to do. So when you buy a new domain, so I'm just going to delete that bit. It's old. So when you buy a new domain, you need to basically warm it up for about 2 weeks. So all this basically means is you get the mailboxes added into Instantly here. And then you see this bit, this is warm up. So when these are warming up, what this is doing is essentially sending out emails every day and receiving emails every day to replicate human behavior. So that's all that means, warm up.
Awesome.
And then Microsoft, here's the exact bits you want to do, and then Google, here's the exact bits, and then SMTP, here's the exact bits. But you don't need that for now. You just need Google, Microsoft. Okay, so there's
now,
the
real quick. So when you create these accounts, so now you're basically buying domain names. So you're saying, would you recommend to buy domain names similar to what we have as in production? Because like what we normally do is like if we're gonna send like marketing campaigns out, like 360 networks with an s.com is our email. Maybe we'll add like 360 networks like USA, like 360 networks NJ New York, like just similar domain names. Is that what you're saying when you buy domain names, or?
Yeah, definitely. So for example here, my domain is obviously refineflow.co. The domains that I own and send from are things like this. So these ones are a bit more out there. This is just because I'm literally run out. I've got so many. But
Yeah.
if I get some more simple ones. So here, hello refineflow.com, hey refineflow.com, let's refineflow.com. Do you see what I'm doing there? It's just kind of adding a slight
changing it
variant.
up no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah. Always go with .coms as well. Even just like this one here, just adding an E on there enables me to buy this one. Refineflow app, refineflowco.com, refineflowltd.com. And the best thing to do here is just use AI. Don't overthink it. It doesn't matter that much at all. So like look at some of these up here. These are a bit more rogue. They've got some dashes. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So for this, the domains, just
once you buy domain names,
write down 3 variants you want, and then use AI to generate the rest.
Awesome. And then when I buy them, do I create like an actual mailbox, or do I actually create a mailbox with scale mail for them?
Yeah, it's a great question. So you buy the domains, and then you go into scaled mail, and then you create an order within here. So you go ahead and buy inboxes, and then you can get your package together. So how many you want to send, whether that's Google, whether that's Outlook, and then the kind of the difference between the two. And like I said, I think 75% here. And then you literally go ahead and create the order, and then you import the domains into scaled mail, and they set up all of your mailboxes, and they add all of your mailboxes directly into Instantly. So they do all of the DNS and the technicalities for you. So it's super straightforward with that.
Good. That makes sense.
And if you want to, you can literally go ahead and buy the domains within scaled mail as well. But
Just a premium.
I wouldn't recommend doing that, just because, you know, in case
Wasting
you want
money.
to change providers, they have your domains. I think it's just best to own your domains yourself, you know.
That's good. That's very smart.
So yeah, there we have that. Two mailboxes per one domain. We've got the limits here, and this is what you want to go for in terms of the split.
Now, when they do the split between Google and Outlook, is it actually using Google or Outlook to deliver those mails you're saying, or like what's that split mean between Google and Outlook and Scale Mail?
Yeah, so if we look here at my clients' mailboxes, yeah, so it actually is Google. So as you can see here, their split is, I think their split's like 90-10, to be honest with you. So we've got Outlook and Google, and as you can see, most of it's Google here. And that literally is because when we come into Instantly and turn on the ESP matching, so in the campaign, and we have the options, that's just to make sure that our Google accounts are sending to Google accounts and our Microsoft accounts are sending to Microsoft accounts. Okay.
Awesome. Got it.
So yeah, that's the whole point there. And what you want to do is make sure that, I think it says here anyway, two mailboxes per one domain. So for example, if you want 100 mailboxes, you need 50 domains. Okay.
Got it.
And I think in your case, have you ever mapped out your TAM, so your total addressable market? Have you ever kind of mapped that out?
Not really, to be honest.
Okay, so that's okay. Yeah, for sure. So I think that would be a good thing to do as well. So map out your TAM. So I'm just going to come down here and jot that. Where are we? Sales Navigator Scraper. Map out your TAM. So what I mean by that is that you just come into Sales Nav, enter all of your filters, so your head counts, all of the decision maker titles that you want to go for, the locations, and this is maybe going to be, you know, what is this? It could be 100,000 leads, and just slowly start to map that out. You might need to kind of break that up in terms of headcounts or job titles, but yeah, just start to map it out is what I would do there as well.
Yeah, what we've done is like broke it down by geography, like by state, and try to like tone it down there because then it gets a lot smaller then.
Yeah, definitely. So your TAM, I imagine your TAM is quite big. So yeah, you need to break it down by state or head count. So yeah, that's totally fine what you're doing.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we have Instantly. So yeah, that's cool. I think we're covered there. Then we have the domains and mailboxes. I think that's covered there. Is there any questions on the kind of domain or mailbox setup?
How many mailboxes should I start out with for what I'm trying to do?
So I think to start out with, if I was you, I would go with 20 domains, 40 mailboxes. 40 mailboxes. This gives you a capacity here of around 1,000 emails per day. And this is a nice amount of volume where it's not loads, but it's a very decent amount to get some volume out there, get some testing going, and then you can always scale up and add more down the line. So yeah, I'd start with about 1,000 emails per day, which would be good for you. So
Perfect. So we can get some feedback and kind of see what's working out. Because if you're sending 100 emails a day, you're getting nowhere.
Yeah. You need to be doing pumping out volume. I can just imagine your TAM's pretty big anyway. So
yeah.
You've got plenty to rip through. 1,000 emails per day is nothing.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost you there maybe $150 for domains. And then scaled mail, we're probably looking at there about 190 USD a month. And then yeah, that's what you need. So yeah, is that clear?
That's perfect.
Okay. I don't know what this bit is. I haven't even read it before. I'm just going to make it smaller. Well, yeah, so we've got Vein to scrape sales nav, map out your TAM, scrape companies following big competitors and big players. And the way that you do this is, do you have another account on LinkedIn that you use, maybe an employee's account or something like that?
I don't, but I could get one.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have one, so for me, for example, if I just show you this one, what I do is I have my main profile here, which is the one I do all the business from.
Yeah.
Then I've also set up a separate one, and this is my scraping profile, because scraping LinkedIn, it can be a little bit risky. So to make sure that your main profile is protected, I would say get your hands on another profile, whether this is your, maybe your girlfriend's or one of your mates' LinkedIn profiles. This one here is my dad's. So I took his profile and then just rebranded it to myself. And this is just a fake profile for scraping. So my main profile is safe, and I can just scrape with no worries in the world here. So yeah, that's how I would go about doing that. So I'm just going to make a note of that as well, because that's quite important.
That's a good one. So like before I connect to Vein, probably connect a fake profile for data scraping, basically.
Yeah, and make sure as well that you use a different browser. So
yeah,
whenever I go onto the fake profile, I use Microsoft Edge. So the reason being is that I don't want there to be an overlap between the cookies between this and my main profile. So when you come into Vein, you need to connect the LinkedIn account to Vein. And the way you do that is by providing the Sales Navigator session cookie. So the way you do that is you obviously go into Sales Nav, open up the inspect, come across to the LinkedIn app. So this is a LinkedIn app cookie, and then you copy that and then put that into Vein. So just make sure that you keep it in a separate browser, so that I don't know the technicalities of this, but I think it's better to keep it completely separate, so that I'm not interfering with the cookies on this session. Is it okay?
100%. And like, does this profile need to be around for a certain amount of time, or it could be around for even a brand new account? Okay.
Yeah, a brand new account is fine. To be fair,
Ideally, Navigator, right?
Yeah, it needs Sales Navigator. And what I'll do is I'll send you over my guy who I use, and we get Sales Navigator for $25 a month. He's a reseller, so let me just get his number. I message this guy all the time. It's like Sales Nav, and he just sends me the enterprise links for it. Let me get him. Where is his number? There. Yeah, so you can just get that for 25 a month. Because obviously paying full price is not the end of the world, but when it's a fake account just for scraping, you might as well keep it cheap. So that's Sales Nav. Yeah, okay. So that covers Sales Nav really. Just again, just use that. But yeah, that's Vein in terms of scraping the data. Is any questions on that bit?
And so in Vein, exactly, are there certain settings you're doing in there to be able to scrape the data, or you pretty much just pump it in from the URL from a sales nav? It pretty much puts all the information in and then just reformats it. That's all I'm just doing, right?
Yeah. There's nothing you need to do. All you literally do is connect the account, pump in the URL, and create the order, and then this will reformat it perfectly for you. And then I'll just show you how it looks. So download, and this is the exact format for all of them. So I'll just show you. And what's cool with this, you get all of the profile data and the company data. So the fields here, so we've got the first name, the last name, You sometimes get the personal email that's associated with the LinkedIn account, which is quite nice. But we need to find the email. That's why we use LeadMagic.
Right.
We get the summary of the person. So this is their about section. So that's the section just here.
Yep.
So that scrapes all of that for you. Then we get their job title. We get their job description. We get when they started that job. We obviously get their LinkedIn URL. We get the location, so whereabouts they are. We get the company name. We get the company LinkedIn account, the company website, the company description. So this would be the so if we come to my company, basically the company's about section.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the about section here. So you get that as well. So you can use that for personalization, etc. You get the LinkedIn specialities, so any keywords associated with the company. You get the headcount, you get the industry, you get the date that the company was founded, you get the LinkedIn company location, and if they have ended the job, you get that. What's this one here? The LinkedIn employee company employee count. You get the headline, which is the bio, so just like the top line of this bit here. So the headline there. And then you get the skills and number of connections for them. And again, this is the exact same format for everything. And why this is so useful is because you would literally, in your automation sequence, plug all of these variables into AI and tell it to give you a cleaned up company name, tell it to give you a cleaned up industry, location, icebreaker, for example, to use in the emails. And it's a lot of data to get your hands on. It's pretty cool. So yeah.
Right.
Is that clear?
Yeah. And then now the next thing you're doing with the LeadMagic of getting the email address in there is what you're doing, right?
Yeah. So LeadMagic is for filling in the email addresses. Let me show you LeadMagic actually. This might be quite useful. So this is like the dashboard, but in our case, we're most likely just going to use the API rather than having to, well, I mean, if you want to, you can just download this CSV and then drag and drop it in here and enrich it that way. But that's just a bit. Yes, just come to the API. Very, very nice, easy to use API. They've got in here, you can grab the email, so you can validate the email, you can find the email, you can find personal emails. You can go B2B social to email. What you can also do here is a profile search. So this basically returns all of the data that we already have. So just like scrapes the LinkedIn profile for this kind of stuff. We've got the mobile finder, job change detector, role finder, employee finder, and then there's a company endpoint here. So company search, company funding, competitors, company technographics. And then we've got a jobs finder, and then you can filter the jobs. And there's even an ads endpoint as well. So you can run some ads enrichment there as well. And I haven't tested this yet, but the MCP server, that would be pretty nice to pop in Claude code and just pump this. So yeah, this is why I recommend LeadMagic, because it's not just an email finder. It is literally one of the best email finders on the market, but you also, for the same subscription, get all of these other cool endpoints as well.
Awesome. And you're doing your data enrichment within, where you doing it in your Cloud Code or you're in N8?
So both, to be fair with you, but for recently, I've been running it in just NA10 just because it's built, it's ready. I just dump the sheet in and execute, and this will maybe run here for 24 hours sometimes, depending on the leads. Are you self-hosted on NA10, by the way?
We have a cloud version right now that we're doing. We're not self-hosted right now. We could be if we wanted to, but we just thought it was cheap enough still to keep it in the cloud.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only issue with the cloud version is there not an execution timeout at some point?
Oh, really?
I think so. I might be wrong, but I feel like it's about an hour, and they might time you out. But again, give that a test. If that does happen, then you might need to get yourself on self-hosted. Very, very straightforward. You know, you're technical, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But with this, I would say go with Hostinger if you do ever Hostinger N810. Just very, very simple, very good. Never had any problems with it. And this here was like $200 for 2 years or something stupid.
I
And
don't
like,
know.
you know, these are running for 13 hours and, you know, sometimes 2 days and stuff. So I'm just not sure that the cloud version lets you do this. But like I say, give it a test and see. But yeah, when we have scraped sales nav and we have this, then yeah, then you pump it into here and then just execute and
Why is
let
it
it do.
taking so long to do that? Is there a reason why it takes so long, or is just like,
Just because it'd be quicker for you, to be fair. So with this one, there's a triple waterfall. So for each of the rows, say, you know, I've got a sheet here of 10,000 rows. For each row, it needs to come through and find the email, and then try this one, then try this one, then run enrichment, and then add to instantly. So it's just a lot going on, really. That's why it takes so long.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, the way you can do it is obviously just loop in bigger batches, but
right.
you might end up hitting rate limits and shit like that. So that's a thing to know as well.
That's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the end product here, and then obviously everything's in instantly, and then you can run it up from there.
Okay, 100%. And then if we go back to okay, and then so this is great to get started. I have plenty of work to do in here, to be honest. At least get it all built out and started. What do you think our next steps are? So I'll get this all going, kind of get started maybe.
Yeah,
And then like our next steps after that, you want to set up another call maybe like in a week maybe or something like that, or what do you think?
for sure, for sure. Yeah. So next steps, straight away. I mean, as soon as you can after the call, get the domains bought, and then you want to make sure that the domains are bought instantly.
Yeah.
So you want to get the domains bought instantly bought, and then the mailboxes bought and then warming up in your instantly. And then after this point, then you need to wait 2.5 to 3 weeks. I mean, some people say 2 weeks, but I prefer to be a bit more conservative and wait an extra, you know, few days to a week and make sure you're safe. So you wait 2.5 to 3 weeks while the domains are warming up. And then in this period of time, don't just kind of sit there and wait. In this period of time, you need to be building the lists, mapping that TAM, writing the copy as well. So your messaging, making sure that the sequences are all in place, and then from that point you can launch. So if you want to meet next week, if you by the time we next meet, I think if you have all of that set up there, we'll be in a good position, and then I can help you with the next steps, which will be start to build out the lists, map your TAM, and get that copy, and the angles start putting those together. I think will be the next step. Okay.
I think we're gonna definitely need a little bit of help there of like, I kind of get I get everything, the whole overall, but like I think getting the data enhanced and enriched, like building that automation. I mean, I should be good on that part, but we can kind of work from there.
Yeah, so that's a good point. The automations as well need to be in place. But yeah, cool. I think you're in a pretty decent spot here to get started. It just what is your like budget for this, by the way?
I mean, I don't have a budget for more per se, like because we haven't like been doing it, right? And not like that my bank account's endless, you know what I mean? But you know, honestly, you know, we're not scared to spend money. Like we love to like honestly jump with 2 feet into this. I think this is a good tactic from maybe the direction I was going in a little bit. I like to try to start this and you know see where now what are the next steps like you know to take it to the next level because like from my understanding the reason why we're doing this is just to start email outreach, right? Once we start email outreach, and I think when in this 2.5 week wait, we got really to build out the automation and to build out the enrichment of emails. Then probably the next thing I'll break out into is let's maybe look at like, do you recommend to do like LinkedIn ads and stuff like that to keep going there, or to look at that more, or what's your feeling on that?
Yeah, definitely. So after you've launched here, you probably want to give it between 6 to 8 weeks of sending volume, analyze data, and you're looking for 1% positive reply rate, and then 1% positive reply rate. Use LinkedIn ads. So yeah, this is like the starting point. You're definitely gonna generate business with outbound. But then what the beauty of this is that we can get very, very, very valuable data from this, and then we can run ads and outbound at the same time. And then what we can do when you have both running at the same time is you can start to sync the two as well. So you can sync when someone interacts with an ad, they can also get a cold email, and then you can sync that with LinkedIn outreach as well. So have you looked at maybe doing that at all, or you just focus on
No,
the
that's
cold email?
definitely that's 100% like even when they become like a contact or like a LinkedIn ad, they click on it, like is to be able to target them more and follow up with them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes just they click the ad, maybe they weren't ready. You expect that like a follow up. You know, that's like to like because that's like to keep touching them, right? The next bigger thing after that I would like to really build is so with outreach, okay. So with its email outreach, do we actually expect to actually turn customers from this, or are we just more or less trying to test like
No, yeah, you're gonna be booking sales calls from this for sure. Yeah.
good, good. So this is good. I think let's start here. It's a good start. And then how often do you want to meet? Like once a week maybe or something like that to like kind of like in the beginning get going, or like what do you think?